Good morning, guys. Welcome to day 108 of me creating good daily habits. I just bought a new book called the 80/20 running. Makes me to run faster. I need to run slow and longer, right? That's the book that I'm reading after I just recently finished Finding Ultra. I'm looking to review that book shortly. So my morning ritual is basically getting up and putting some exercise, and it's now becoming my favorite thing to do. It's my 10 minutes yoga, and I'm gonna be taking a rest from the abs this morning because I'm starting to feel it. The pain is getting a bit too much because I'm basically doing it every day. It hasn't had a rest yet, so I'm giving my abs a rest this morning. So let's get to it. I'm on day 24 of the 30-day yoga movement with Kassandra.
Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to take you through a 10-minute morning yoga deep stretch practice, so focusing on the entire body. This is also day 24 of the 30-day morning yoga movement. You can definitely just do this class on its own, or hopefully you'll want to join this 30-day challenge. It's totally free. You can just click the first link that you see down below in the description box, and together we can do 10 minutes of yoga every single morning for 30 days. If you've already been practicing with me, we're just going to get started. You don't need any props for this class, and we're going to begin in a toe squat. So focusing on the feet and lower body, you can just curl your toes underneath you, maybe moving that little toe off to the side and letting your hips sit down on your heels. And we'll add a little bit of movement into the chest and the upper body here. But before we engage in this way, we're just going to connect to the affirmation and the intention of the day. And our affirmation today is, I celebrate my inner and outer beauty. I celebrate my inner and outer beauty. And keeping this in mind, as you inhale, stretch your arms all the way up towards the sky, and we're going to open into a twist. So reach your left arm forward, right arm back. Inhale all the way back up to center, and exhale to the other side, right arm forward, left arm back. Just a few more times here, staying with your breath. And you might close your eyes, just connecting to this affirmation, letting it set the tone for the day ahead. I celebrate my inner and outer beauty. One more on each side. Coming all the way back through to center, and release, tabletop pose. Point the toes back, maybe roll your ankles a few times. And just getting into cat and cow, palms under your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. As you inhale, drop the belly, lift your gaze, curl tailbone up, and reverse this as you exhale, broadening through your shoulder blades, letting your head be heavy. And keep going in and out of those two poses. And the tendency often here is to rely on the parts of our spine which are already flexible. So instead, I want you to see if you can get into those areas that are a little bit more awkward, a little stiffer. Taking about one more cycle. Back to your neutral tabletop pose. Walk your hands a couple inches forward, and we'll find our first downward facing dog. Moving in any way that feels intuitive here. Not worrying so much about getting the heels to touch the floor, especially first thing in the morning. And just see if you can keep some length through your arms. And we'll go a little deeper into our hips. So reach your right leg up towards the sky, bend your right knee and open up your hips. See how high you can get your knee up, squeezing into the glutes. And then we're going to step the right foot a few inches behind the right wrist, so not all the way to the top of the mat. And then go ahead and roll over onto the outer edges of both feet. So your toes are pointing to the long edge of your mat. Push into your left hand and reach your right arm up and over. And really press the feet into the floor as you lift. And we're going to drop that left hip down to the floor, hanging out here for a stretch as you reach your right hand towards your foot. feel a nice opening through the side of the waist and into that hip. One more big breath here, and start to look down towards the floor. Bring your right hand down, and we're just going to step that right foot through in between the palms. Spin your back heel parallel to the shoulder edge of your mat, lifting up into your warrior two. Front knee bends generously as you squeeze it open. And let's reverse. Left hand down, right arm up. Big side body stretch. Inhale to warrior two. Let's straighten the front leg. Bring your back toes in a couple inches. Triangle pose. Send those hips back. Reach your right hand forward and down. Left arm up. Start to look down towards the mat. Bend into your front knee, three-legged dog. So re-extend that right leg all the way up towards the sky. Bending and opening here. And let's find our pigeon pose. Bring your right knee behind your right wrist. Lift and reach that left leg a little bit further back, squaring off the pelvis here. And you might just hold into your pigeon pose up high, or if you'd like, you can fold down. 3 deep breaths here. Trying to relax your shoulders and your chest. I celebrate my inner and outer beauty. One more big inhale. And instead of going back to downward dog, we're going to transition into our tabletop pose, so where we were before. And maybe just stretch that back leg out behind you. And we'll just transition into a little puppy pose, keeping your hips over your knees, walk your hands forward, and relax forehead and chest down towards the mat. So stretching through your upper back, into your shoulders. Let's walk the hands in, downward facing dog. Tuck your toes under and lift your hips up and back. And let's find that sequence on the second side. Stretch your left leg up and back, bend your knee, open up your hip, and just see how high you can get that left knee up. And we're going to step the foot behind the left wrist, so not all the way to the top of the mat. Roll onto the feet, the edges of the feet, so that your 10 toes are pointing out towards the left side of the mat. And reach out long, bicep is along the ear, push into your right hand. And see if you can push into your feet as well to lift your hips up even higher. And we'll stretch through that outer glute, start to let your hips come down, reach your left hand. And you should feel a nice opening through the side of the waist and into that hip. And start to look down towards the floor. So step your left foot forward between the palms. Spin your back foot parallel to the shoulder edge of your mat before rising up. Palms facing down, long through your arms. Let's reverse. Right hand down, left arm up. Back to warrior two. Straighten the left leg. Bring your back toes in a couple inches. Triangle pose. Stretch out long. Looking down to the mat, three-legged dog. Plant the palms, reach your left leg up and back. Last time here as you bend the knee, open up your hip into your pigeon pose. Left knee behind your wrist. Stretching out that back leg, squaring off the hip, maybe holding where you are or folding forward for 3 breaths. Instead of going to downward dog, we're going to lift back up. Tabletop pose. And we'll take our puppy pose again, but just adding a little bit of a different arm variation. So keep your hips over your knees, walk your palms forward, and maybe you stay here, or if you'd like, you can press your hands together, bend your elbows, and bring your thumbs towards the back of your neck, back of your head. Try to melt your heart down towards the floor. And we'll straighten the arms, start to walk your hands in, and come to take a seat in any way that is comfortable for you here. Stretching out long out of the low back, eliminating any rounding through your spine. Hands join at the front of your heart. One last time, connecting to this affirmation. I celebrate my inner and outer beauty. And we'll set it with a breath together, in through the nose and out through the mouth. And bowing forward.
Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you so much, yogis, for doing this 10-minute full.
Thank you, Kassandra, for once again for my day 24. I love my morning session with you. It's been a ritual for me, something that I look forward to. I can feel my lower back's already warming up, the rest of my body as well. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. Bye-bye.